When the financial system implodes, not if, but when your bank account becomes worthless overnight. The numbers on your screen vanish into digital nothing. Gold, sure, theoretically valuable, but you can't eat it, you can't drink it. And in the first 60 days of total collapse, no one's trading bullets for shiny metal. This is the reality nobody wants to face. The products that will separate survivors from casualties aren't what you think they are. They're hiding in plain sight, mundane and overlooked, until the exact moment civilization's veneer cracks and everyone realizes simultaneously what actually matters. The science here is brutally simple. Human survival operates on a hierarchy of need that becomes crystal clear when society fails. Your body can survive 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. But there's another timeline nobody talks about, the 72-hour window, where society transitions from order to chaos. In that window, specific products become more valuable than any precious metal because they solve immediate, life-threatening problems. Let's start with the most critical. Water purification tablets. Not bottled water that runs out. Not fancy filtration systems, those break. We're talking about tiny chemical tablets that transform contaminated water into something your body won't reject. When the municipal water system fails, and it will fail within hours of grid collapse because pumping stations require electricity, every natural water source becomes a potential death sentence. Rivers carry industrial runoff, standing water breeds bacteria, and even rainwater collected in urban environments is contaminated with rooftop chemicals and atmospheric pollutants. Here the chemistry. Calcium hypochlorite tablets release chlorine that oxidizes and destroys pathogens at the molecular level. One bottle containing 200 tablets can purify over 10,000 liters. That's 6 months of drinking water for a family. In week 2 of collapse, when cholera and dysentery start spreading through populations drinking from contaminated sources, these tablets become the difference between maintaining function and catastrophic dehydration. People will trade anything: weapons, food, shelter for clean water capability. Next, and this will sound absurdly simple until you think it through, lighters, specifically, disposable butane lighters, hundreds of them. Fire is the foundation of post-collapse survival, but most people grossly underestimate how difficult fire starting becomes without modern tools. Matches get wet, run out fast, and require dry tinder. Friction methods like bow drills demand skill, time, and dry materials. Good luck finding those in urban rubble during rain. Flint and steel sounds romantic until you're doing it with frozen fingers in the dark. A single lighter provides thousands of ignitions. Fire means water purification through boiling, food preparation, warmth preventing hypothermia, light after dark, and psychological comfort that cannot be overstated. The physics here is straightforward. Compressed butane creates instant, reliable flame, but the strategic value goes deeper. Lighters become currency. They're small, lightweight, universally desired, and their value only increases as they become scarce. In month 3, a working lighter trades for a week's worth of food. By month 6, people kill for them. Stock 50 lighters now, for $2 each. When collapse hits, you're holding $10,000 in real-world value. Third product, antibiotics. Not from a pharmacy, those get looted in the first 12 hours. We're talking about fish antibiotics, available without prescription from pet stores and online suppliers. Amoxicillin, ciprofloxacin, doxycycline, chemically identical to human-grade versions. When hospitals become war zones and minor infections become death sentences, these pills are literally life. Here's the medical reality. In a collapse scenario, a simple cut infected with staph becomes lethal within days without antibiotics. Pneumonia, which is easily treatable now, becomes a coin flip. Dental abscesses, urinary tract infections, infected wounds from violence or accidents, all killers in a world without medical infrastructure. The science is clear. Bacteria don't care if the antibiotic came from a veterinary supplier. The molecular structure that disrupts bacterial cell walls works identically. A stockpile of broad-spectrum antibiotics, properly stored in cool, dark conditions, remains viable for years beyond expiration dates. This isn't just about keeping yourself alive. It's about having the single most valuable trade commodity imaginable. When someone's child is dying from pneumonia and you have the cure, you name your price. That's not exploitation, it's the brutal economics of survival. Fourth, and this reveals how little most people understand about collapse, manual can openers. Sounds ridiculous until you realize that every grocery store, every abandoned home, every warehouse contains thousands of cans of food, vegetables, fruits, proteins, soup sealed in steel containers designed to last decades. But here's the catch nobody considers. Electric can openers don't work without power. Most people don't own a manual opener, those fancy camping multi-tools with can openers. They break, bend, or require strength and technique most people don't have. A simple, military-grade P38 can opener 1 inch of stamped metal is the key to accessing literally tons of food that others cannot reach. The mechanical advantage is elegant. A small lever multiplies force, allowing the sharpened point to pierce and cut steel with minimal effort. In the chaos of collapse, people smash cans with rocks, cut themselves trying to pry them open with knives, waste food, and injure themselves attempting to access nutrition that's right there but locked away. You walk in with a dozen can openers, and suddenly you're trading access to food supplies for protection, information, or other necessities. It is the ultimate force multiplier, making abundant resources accessible when others are starving, surrounded by plenty they cannot open. Finally, the product that separates tactical thinkers from everyone else: duct tape. Not just any tape, military grade, cloth-backed duct tape. This seems mundane until you understand its applications in collapse scenarios. This is engineered adhesive capable of withstanding extreme temperatures, water exposure, and mechanical stress. You can repair water containers, seal wounds in emergencies, create waterproof shelters, bind structural materials, fashion makeshift clothing repairs, secure splints for broken bones, mark trails, leave messages, create noise-making alarms with cans and string, patch holes in walls or windows, bundle supplies for transport, and construct tools. The polymer science here is remarkable: pressure-sensitive adhesive that bonds to virtually any surface. In a world where nothing new is being manufactured and everything is breaking down, the ability to repair, seal, and construct becomes invaluable. 3 rolls of quality duct tape, weighing less than 2 pounds, provide thousands of critical applications. When someone's shelter is leaking and they're facing exposure death, your tape is priceless. Now here's the psychological component everyone ignores: timing. These products must be acquired now, before panic buying begins. Once collapse indicators emerge, currency devaluation, supply chain breakdown, civil unrest, it's already too late. Stores empty in hours. What remains gets price gouged beyond accessibility. The mental preparation required is accepting that collapse is not only possible but probable, and acting while others remain in denial. This means overcoming normalcy bias, the psychological tendency to believe things will continue as they always have. Your neighbors think you're paranoid. Let them when their children are sick and they have no antibiotics, when they're dehydrated and have no water purification, when they're freezing and can't start fire. You'll be the person they need. That's not arrogance, it's preparation, meeting opportunity. The final warning is this: gold has no intrinsic survival value. It's a store of wealth for after society rebuilds, if it rebuilds. But in the 72 hours to 6 months window of total collapse, these 5 products: water purification, lighters, antibiotics, can openers, and duct tape represent the actual currency of survival. They solve immediate problems that kill people. They're compact, storable, and retain value indefinitely. Total investment: less than $500 for quantities that could sustain you and provide trade leverage for years. The difference between survivor and casualty isn't luck, it's preparation. And preparation means understanding what actually matters when everything else fails.